5 things I love about Dark Souls 3. Hi everyone, and welcome to a brand new type of video for the channel. This video is different because I don't believe I've ever done a list video, mostly because I usually just watch them and I don't create them. There are a lot of varying opinions on this topic, and honestly people do really have some very strong opinions about how they feel about Dark Souls franchise in general. So I will try to make this quick and as succinct as possible as we dive down the rabbit hole. Now keep in mind that this is my own opinion, and you are in fact entitled to yours as well, so please let me know in the comments if yours differs from mine. Let's have a discussion, and keep it civil at the same time. With all that being said, let's get into this topic and open it wide up. Number 5. Co-op. What? You like co-op, you say? Scrub, noob, casual. All these words can tend to be used to describe the very nature of using co-op in Dark Souls 3. However, one of my favorite things to do in this game is to put my summon sign down and wait to be summoned, to help a host battle it out with one of the many bosses in Dark Souls 3. Just knowing that I have helped him pass a seemingly insurmountable boss fight is enough, and the fact that I get a free ember and souls from the fight makes it worth the 5 minutes I spend to get them past the boss and on their merry way to the next area. Now personally, that is the extent of co-op that I have experienced, and I haven't done the full game with a friend. But to be honest, that's on my bucket list for sure. Co-op, in my opinion, was put in Dark Souls 3 to help the newer players get to experience the tough as nails game in a more casual way, and keep and retain them for years to come. Number 4. Invasions. This may come across as weird, especially because of the previous statements, but I really enjoy being invaded and also doing the invading. Don't get me wrong, when I'm speedrunning the game, I turn the ability to invade off. But once I'm done with my character and have leveled it, I turn the ability to invade and be invaded on. Why? Well, that's a good question. Invaders are a newer and much more difficult enemy and obstacle in my personal game. Most of the enemies in Dark Souls 3 have a set amount of moves, and movesets that RNG dictates and can be moderately predictable. However, when you come across an invader, you generally have no idea what they are going to do. And this is true for multiple reasons. Mostly because they aren't nailed down to one weapon. They can choose, on the fly, in the middle of the fight, to swap weapons and movesets. Also, dying isn't the end of the world, and if you are worried about it, just run to a bonfire and duel there. If you die, you will spawn right at that bonfire and collect the oh so precious souls back. Nothing lost, and everything gained. Also, invading is fun and you should try it. The quest to get the red eye orb is easy, and kind of fun too. So what are you waiting for? Go out there and get it. Number 3. Covenants. Did you know that Dark Souls 3 has secret societies you can join? No? Well, it does. And boy oh boy does it. My personal favorite is Mound Makers, and the quest to get it is so in-depth, if you miss a step you might need to play the game again to get it. Can you believe that? But there is actually an easy peasy way to get it. But you'll have to play and learn that method, because I'm not going to spoil it in this video, alright? There are multiple secret societies, also known as covenants, that you will need to explore, quest, and generally pay attention to the game and dialogue to find. They affect lots of things in game too, such as who is available to summon to aid you before a boss fight. And they can even determine if you get summoned to help against another player's invaders. Super cool, and a great addition to the game. Dark Souls 3 is so varied in its multiplayer, and this is one of the cooler ways to do multiplayer. Believe it. Dark Souls 3 really nailed it with this one. GG From Software. Number 2, boss progression. This is one of the best things about Dark Souls 3. Even if you hate multiplayer and never do it, knowing which boss to do next can save you a boatload of time, believe me. Anyone knows that the first boss you fight in Dark Souls 3 is Gundyr. But what's next? Well, most will tell you Vort, and they would mostly be right. However, after fighting those two initial on-rails bosses, you have many decisions to make. Will you do Crystal Sage next and brave its magic casting and its spamming at you? Hopefully do enough damage to kill it before it multiplies. Or will you do the Watchers? Or will you do Dancer? And just as a hint, don't do Dancer that early in the game. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't, especially if you value your sanity. Picking the wrong boss will put you in a loop of deaths and respawns for hours. Not something that seems fun, but honestly, even if you do, just remember, you are learning the bosses and will get better and better the more you do it. Picking the right route is essential, and honestly, it has a lot to do with how upgraded your weapon is. Is your weapon a +4? Well, maybe you should go and do the Crystal Sage. Save your resins and get ready to die. A lot. And finally, number 1. The number 1 reason I love Dark Souls, and the number 1 reason I think you might love Dark Souls too if you give it a chance, is the story. The thing I love the most about this game, for me, is the stories in Dark Souls 3. Getting to be a Hollow Lord was an interesting experience, and seeing the story unfold was amazing. I personally finally did the Hollow Lord quest correctly, and got the 3rd and final ending yesterday. Such an intriguing story, and really worth the work I put into getting this ending. From the wedding which you just saw, to the ending itself which you're about to see. Just a quality experience. And that is what Dark Souls does that other games do not. They craft an experience. Not only do you get to play a crafted experience, but in some ways, you get to build it with From Software. With that being said, I want to thank you for sharing this experience with me and getting all the way to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will be doing a few more like this if you guys liked it. Please, leave a like and a comment. Let YouTube know that you enjoyed this video, and it will get suggested to more people, and this channel will start to grow again. Thanks again, and see you later in the next video. This is Muscle, signing out.
Gracious Lord, make London whole.